Correct. Who would have? You know, this is what's happening in this place, Chris. Okay? There's no diversity of what you want, opinions or what you want to put across. And this is so frustrating. You know, you spoke about the burqa on the floor of Parliament, then you have the screening. No, we might offend people. Our whole country is going down the bloody drain. It really is. It frustrates me to no end. So these people make their decisions. No, you can't because we might offend this one or offend that one, whatever. So what do we have? Where do people like I go who just are common sense, normal people who want to have a laugh, want to have put out our opinions? Where do we go? What do we do? It's a constant battle I have all the time. I'm fighting this system as it changes and destroys our culture and our way of life. But I'm not going to give up. I'll keep fighting. And guess what? They banned me from here showing the film in Parliament House. But I appreciate those people open up the venue to us and those people that did turn up. So we won in the long run. I don't walk away and give up that easily.
Before we continue, do us a small favor by subscribing to the channel. Over 98% of people watching right now haven't subscribed yet. It costs nothing at all, not even a penny, to join the channel. Have you subscribed? Thanks so much for the support.
Would any politicians have been involved in the decision, or would this have just been Parliament House bureaucrats?
Chris, I can't make speculation. I have no idea. And I think because there was a poster that was put out there, and of course it had the rainbow flag, and it was progressive, the word in it. So they would have taken offence to that. So they said, oh, well, we can't allow the showing of this. They had no idea what was in the movie. No idea whatsoever. But this might offend people. I'm sick and tired of worrying about whether people are offended or not. That's your problem, being offended. What about the rest of us? You're shutting it down. My opinion, doesn't that matter anymore, or anyone else's? We had a great response from the audience, Chris. They actually applauded it. And I asked them, did you enjoy the 5 minutes of the movie? They said it's absolutely fantastic. And so anyway, we're going to put it out January 26th. It's going ahead. It's going to be a huge success. I can tell you that.
It'll be funny as a fit because everything that those guys do at Stepmate Studios is hilarious. I want to go back to the burqa here. You were criticised by some. Now, this is a political stunt. I'm not surprised you were kicked out. I am surprised that it was a 7-day suspension. But people suggesting that you were somehow ridiculing or discriminating against Muslim women. I would have thought if you're talking about trying to ban the burqa in this country, you're trying to stand up for the rights of some Muslim women who are forced to wear the burqa. Who speaks for those women? Because I assume that women who are in a family situation where they are forced to wear a burqa certainly couldn't speak up for their own rights if they chose to. So who does speak for them? We see other Muslim women denouncing you and a broad range of political parties denouncing you. Who in this country is trying to say it's all right for young girls and women to be hidden behind burqas in this country?
You're exactly right in what you say. It's sort of all about the oppression of women that is happening. Here they scream about women's rights in this country. The left and the Greens and everyone else is screaming, oh, well, let's protect women's rights, against domestic violence. And then we have, right, same work, same pay. They keep going on about superannuation, the whole lot. But when it comes to women being able to show their face and, no, we're not interested, let's back away. They don't want to get into the culture wars. That's what this is about. And Chris, I've been thinking about this. It wasn't a bloody stunt. It wasn't a stunt, all right? A stunt is to show off. It's not about showing off. It was about proving a point. My point was I wanted to introduce a bill to ban the burqa and full face coverings in public places. Now, when they denied me that, and I thought, well, if you don't want to ban it, I'll go and put it on. So I went and put it on to prove a point. And guess what? They didn't want to ban it. They didn't want me to wear it in Parliament. Where's the hypocrisy of the whole lot? You can't have both ways.
It was a ridiculous paradox.
So it wasn't a stunt. So don't say it was a stunt, that I pulled this stunt. I wanted to prove a point, and I proved my point. And they couldn't stand it. I am out there fighting for these women. If you want to know about Islam and how women are treated, go and read Ayaan Hirsi Ali's book. I read that years ago.
I've
know
read it.
what happens to a lot of these women.
I've read it myself.
It's fantastic.
I've read it myself. But I would just point out, of course, the vast majority of Muslim women in this country don't wear the burqa and are not forced to wear the burqa. But the question is, who speaks up for those who do? And there's definitely silence around the country on that point. Just before I let you go, by the end of the week, will Barnaby Joyce be a member of One Nation?
Well, he's not a member. He's not a member at all. But I'm hoping, Chris, that yes, he will be a member
will
of
he sign up
One Nation.
Will he sign up? Will he sign up this week? Will he sign up? Will he sign up this week? How much is the joining fee? And will you waive it?
Chris, it won't be waived, I can tell you that. What's good for goose is good for the gander. So whoever's part of this party as a member will pay their fees, membership fees. So anyway, and that will include Barnaby Joyce.
And he will sign up this week.
And I've got to say, at this moment, Chris, I'm doing this interview with you and I've got my Member of Parliament.
Well, according to Reform UK, you've been working for an awful dictator, presiding over chaos on multiple fronts, and perfecting one highly transferable skill, taking money out of people's pockets like a bailiff ransacking a living room. It's brutal, it's personal, and it's deliberately designed to get under the skin of Labour MPs who are already watching their majorities evaporate in by-elections and local contests. This kind of attack isn't new. British politics has seen it before. Every time Labour faces a populist challenger, the same strategy appears: portray the Labour leader as an out-of-touch elite who's betrayed the working class. Think back to Tony Blair and the Iraq War. Protesters painted him as a war criminal in a suit, while Blair doubled down on the conviction politician routine. You either admired his certainty or wanted to throw your remote at the television. Then came Gordon Brown and the infamous Gillian Duffy moment. A pensioner challenges him on immigration. A live microphone catches him calling her a bigoted woman. That single moment shattered Labour's claim to understand ordinary voters and became the defining image of the 2010 campaign. And then there was Jeremy Corbyn. He energized members, filled rallies, and dominated social media. But when Brexit collided with accusations that Labour had abandoned Red Wall voters, that enthusiasm didn't translate into electoral victory. Each time, Labour ran into the same fundamental problem. How do you maintain progressive principles while keeping voters who feel left behind by economic change and social liberalism? Keir Starmer is now discovering that winning power doesn't magically solve that equation, especially when you've made big promises and voters are keeping receipts. Now here's the kicker. Lee Anderson has been challenged over reform-controlled councils raising council tax to the legal maximum, despite campaign messaging about cutting waste and lowering taxes. His defense is technically correct. Reform never explicitly promised to cut council tax in their literature. But here's the problem. Being technically correct is useless when voters feel deceived. This exchange perfectly captures Westminster politics right now. Every party accuses the others of broken promises while defending their own record with increasingly creative interpretations of what they actually pledged. It's like watching three people argue over who crashed the car when all of them were drunk at different points, and the car is currently on fire in a ditch. This leaves Starmer in an extraordinarily difficult position, and frankly, it's hard to envy him. On one side, he has to defend 18 months of government that voters are clearly unhappy with. That means doubling down on unpopular decisions, means testing winter fuel payments, freezing tax thresholds, and raising taxes on working people, all while insisting this is responsible governance and necessary for long-term stability. Riveting stuff for focus groups, I'm sure. On the other side, he has to counter Reform's populist narrative that Labour has betrayed ordinary Britain, abandoned traditional values, and prioritised ideology over practicality, without looking defensive or completely out of touch, like Gordon Brown in that disastrous 2010 moment. The problem is that both strategies are reactive, and voters hate leaders who look like they are being pushed around by events rather than controlling them. Meanwhile, chaos is spreading through Westminster. Labour backbenchers who thought they had 5 comfortable years are panicking. Polling is turning. Constituency surgeries are filled with angry voters demanding explanations for decisions made in Downing Street. MPs are watching what once looked like safe majorities dissolve in real time. The Conservatives are in an awkward position too, attacking Labour's record while trying to explain why voters kicked them out so decisively in 2024. And Reform? Reform is loving every second of this. They are positioning themselves as the authentic voice of betrayed voters, even while dodging questions about their own council tax record. It's a three-way Mexican standoff. Everyone's armed. Nobody wants to fire first, and no one is confident they'll survive the shootout. So what does all this actually mean for people who aren't obsessed with Westminster gossip? First, it likely means Labour becomes even more cautious. Expect government by opinion poll. Bold reforms shelved. Controversial policies delayed. Like a football team that's conceded 3 goals early on, Labour will park the bus and hope to scrape through without conceding any more damage. Second, this exposes a deeper identity crisis inside the Labour Party. Is Labour the party of traditional working-class voters who want tighter immigration controls and cultural conservatism? Or is it the party of progressive, urban professionals focused on social liberalism and climate policy? Can it be both at the same time? Starmer has been trying to walk that tightrope since becoming leader, and the strain is showing. It's like DJing at a party where half the crowd wants garage and the other half wants drum and bass. Play one, you lose half the room. Try to blend them, and nobody's happy. Eventually, a choice has to be made, and that choice will cost votes somewhere. Third, electorally, this could signal a permanent fracturing of British politics. For decades, Labour and the Conservatives dominated. Now Reform is carving out real territory. The Greens are siphoning off progressives, the SNP still dominates Scotland, and traditional majorities are no longer guaranteed. Starmer could technically win the most seats at the next election and still struggle to govern effectively, with a weaker mandate, a smaller majority, and far more complicated parliamentary arithmetic. Fourth, and this is the most important part, this raises serious questions about democratic legitimacy. When a government loses public support halfway through its term, does it still have an unquestionable right to govern for 5 full years? Or should there be mechanisms for voters to demand a fresh mandate? The public anger driving petitions and protest votes isn't just manufactured opposition. It reflects a genuine sense of betrayal and disconnection. And here's the hypocrisy that makes all of this worse. Labour claims to be the party of working people, while implementing policies those same voters are loudly opposing. Reform campaigns on cutting waste and taxes, while their councils raise taxes to the maximum allowed. The Conservatives attack Labour's competence while conveniently forgetting years of austerity and economic chaos. Everyone is accusing everyone else of betrayal, while defending their own records as necessary governance. So here's the reality. Keir Starmer and his historic majority are facing a genuine challenge to their authority and legitimacy, barely halfway through their term. Reform MPs are openly predicting Labour MPs' unemployment. Poll numbers are falling. Flagship policies are unpopular. This is no longer just political theatre. It's a test of whether Labour can rebuild trust, or whether they are heading toward being a one-term government that squandered its opportunity through caution, broken promises, and disconnect. The next 18 months will decide everything. Watch the by-elections. Watch local results. Watch whether Labour changes course or doubles down. Because voters are watching. The opposition smells blood. And British politics is entering its most volatile phase in a generation.